My name is Dr. Becky Peacock and I am the Project Supervisor of the Canadian Pacific Project. So the Mid Hants Railway is a heritage steam railway that has been running from 1977. We run across 10 miles of railway from Alresford to Alton. So we've been open just over 40 years, quite a big achievement for us, as when we opened in 1977 we didn't run the full 10 miles.
Well, hello, I'm David. I volunteer here on the railway. I've been volunteering for about 2.5 years now. Initially on the Canadian Pacific Project, and initially doing tours around the shed and the boiler shop and these areas that are normally shut to people. But now I actually work in the boiler shop as well, normally 1 day a week.
I'm Andrew. I am an apprentice here restoring boilers at Rockley. Being an apprentice is just basic willingness, and then they obviously will teach you on the job the sort of roles and stuff that you've got to do here. I've learned how to remove stays out of the boiler behind you, fit plate work, refit all the boiler components, that sort of thing.
The process of restoration of a boiler is, first off, we need to actually take the boiler off the locomotive frame. So that actually means dismantling the entire locomotive to get that boiler off. By that point we then have to lift the boiler off of the frame, put it on some bogies, which at the moment in here in the boiler shop it's some underground bogies, then gets wheeled into the boiler shop. At that point we can make an assessment of the boiler as to what type of restoration it needs or how much work it will need in total. What we have to do is a series of non-destructive testing requirements, and so that could be anything from ultrasound to various other different techniques. And that non-destructive testing allows us to see what is happening inside the boiler itself, and that will give us a clear indication, without taking the boiler apart, hopefully, what's going on and highlight the areas that need to be worked on. After that we can have a plan of action, and so what we know is that we will have to clean the entirety of the boiler. That's through needle gunning and then painting it before it re-rusts again. We know that we will probably have to do some work to the firebox or inner firebox of most of the locomotive boilers that we take off. We then have to work on the smoke box as well. All of the tubings, such as the superheater elements and the boiler tubes themselves, have to have been removed, and we have to restore these as well to working condition.
Well, the main problems of the boiler are caused by the fact we're boiling dirty water. So the boiler being very hot on the inside and cold outside, there's a thermal gradient, and that can cause the tubes to expand differently, and that can cause them to fail because they're not welded in, they're just held in by friction.
What we do here is basically cut out corroded plate work or pitted plate work and make them as good as new basically.